On today's show, the guys ask the questions you need to ask as you prepare for summer. That's up next on EduTechGuys. EduTechGuys Radio, radio.edutechguys.com.
The opinions expressed on the site and its programs are those of participants and not intended to and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of any specific educational entity, sponsor, company, state, or government agency.
Hello and welcome to EduTechGuys Radio. I'm your host, David Henderson.
And I think I'm Jeff Madlock. It's been so long since we've been back on the air that, it's going to have to get back into the swing of things.
We are going to have to get back into the swing of things. It has been so long. Those of you that are faithful, loyal listeners just know that we were working on some stuff behind the scenes, and we've got some amazing interviews scheduled that'll be coming up here during the summer, not to mention, the places we'll go.
Oh my gosh. Lots of stuff going on for us. We were kind of on a sabbatical there trying to get some stuff caught up with. We were still traveling, doing a few shows here and there, doing a few workshops and some PD. But we're really glad to be back. And we thought we'd drop out for our first show beginning the summer, because we will be on all summer long. You're not going to get rid of us that easy.
That's right, man. All
we're going to be around. We thought we'd drop out.
We're going to be like Kid Rock.
Kid Rock. Are we? That's interesting. I meant to let my hair grow a little longer.
I'm going to have to get some hair.
But seriously, hey, catch us on the web at www.edutechguys.com. You can always just go out to Google, type in EduTechGuys, and guess what? You're going to find us, because we're out there everywhere from Twitter, twitter.com/EduTechGuys, to SoundCloud.com. You can find us. Just go to Google, type in EduTechGuys, and follow along with the fun.
Yeah.
So we're like we were just talking about. We were looking at doing something really fun, a quick little workshop, a quick little podcast about what can go on this summer. And sometimes you think about, I got to prep for summer for all those conferences and those PD, but maybe it's just 4 basic questions you need to ask yourself. And we want to talk about those today. We want to talk about those 4 basic questions you need to ask yourself. It's not about what device you're carrying or what app you're using or things like that. It's really about what you're trying to get out of it and where's your objective? Your objective, excuse me. It's been a long time. I've got to get over my lisp again.
That's right. Got to get back in the swing of things.
But we were talking about this the other day, and one of the big things that's happening around this country right now is people are nay-naying social media. They're all over the usage of technology and how kids have their faces stuck into it and things like that. But I think our goal moving forward is to really, and I made this statement the other day, and I think you and I talked about this, it's trying to make what we do on the net, what we do with computers and technology tangible. Just make it a tangible thing. And you've got to remember that we're talking about stuff that has to do with pretty much anything nowadays. Like David and I we were used to playing Atari and ColecoVision and Intellivision and those things. And our parents told us we were frying our brains and we were wasting our time. And now people are making a living at it.
Yeah.
So, you've got to think, so what's tangible? And that's what we have to teach our children is what you're doing, is it tangible? But we got to think about that, I think, when we go into the summer workshop and PD season, is what's tangible. So let's jump right into it. We were talking about 4 questions, and I think the very first question would be, which one?
Well, let's start with, what do you want?
There's the first question.
What do you want?
What do you want to get out of it?
Yes.
Yeah, what are you looking for? What do you want? So that's a great question, and that's kind of an open-ended one, I guess, really. Like, what do you want personally, or what do you want to learn to provide for your students? Maybe if you're just going to be just the person, not the sage on the stage,
right?
You're just up there to get them moving in the right direction.
Well, and what do you... an extension, I guess, of that. What are you expecting? What do you want, whether it's personally or as you are looking at technology, as you are looking at different apps, as you're looking at professional development, as you're looking at curriculum? What is it that you personally want to get out of whatever it is you're looking at? But then also, what is it that you want from your learners? And it doesn't matter if you're talking, if your job is you do workshops and breakout sessions, and so your learners are adult learners, or you're in the classroom and your learners are students, or perhaps you're an altogether different kind of person who's offering whatever it is you're teaching someone else. Whoever it is that's learning from you, what is it that you want from them by using the device that you are looking at, using the curriculum you're looking at, using the apps you're looking at, whatever it is, what do you want out of it? But also, what do you want from those people that you are teaching?
Yeah, exactly. And I think the second question plays itself right into just what we asked the first question. So what do you want? The second question is, what is needed? What do you really need to get out of it? And I think that trips us up a lot. I think we go into something thinking that, oh, this is great. Look, it does this, this, and this. And we get so far off center that we forget we're just trying to get this need done. So that opens up a great question when you're looking for PD, when you're looking for a conference, when you're looking for something to do over the summer. Maybe it's just a podcast series, wink, wink, you want to listen to that. Maybe it's something you want to do, but it is about what's needed.
Right. Well, and it's interesting. I was in a staff meeting, or for lack of a better word, we'll call it a staff meeting earlier today. And one of the things we were talking about was that several of our content specialists are providing PD to teachers where they, I don't know the exact terminology. I'm a tech guy, right? So what they're doing though is they are breaking down the standards. They're expanding the standards. They're doing something to the standards. I can't remember what it is, but essentially, it's taking, in our case, the Arkansas State standards and going through piece by piece and talking to the teachers about what they think the standard is, and then helping the teachers understand that, well, actually, you're talking about a particular standard in this way, but if we look at it, like one example was how a lot of teachers, one of the standards has to do with the spoken word, and how a lot of teachers tie that to literacy. And they're like, yeah, but literacy is more reading, it's printed word. This standard is the spoken word. And they said, it's amazing. You kind of see the light bulbs going and go, oh, I really didn't think about it that way. So in some regards, even that could be considered a need. A PD that you might need is something that helps you make sure you're on track with whatever that curriculum is that you're trying to provide. Or it may be that what you want from your learners is that actually what you need from the learners? And as in life in general, when you throw all the cards on the table and you're looking at just things, again, in general, what are your wants versus what are your needs?
Exactly.
And that's not always easily defined.
No, it's not. Well, and that brings us into question number 3. So what are you getting? And actually, there's actually 3 questions in that one question. What are you getting? What have you got? And what do you have?
Oh.
So when you're out there taking this PD, when you're out there listening to these podcasts, reading this curriculum, possibly going to a conference, you got to evaluate on the spot. You got to go back to the first 2 and say, what do I want? What do I need? Am I getting it? And you have to have the ability to walk away. You have to have the ability to go that, okay, let me weigh this bad boy out. Let me put it down on a piece of paper. Let me see how much it weighs out. Okay, it's not getting enough points. I've got to walk away. And maybe while you're there, you already say, okay, this is what I have going into it. And that ties back into question number 2. What do I need? Mm-hmm. And so, that's it. So what are you getting? What are you getting out of that workshop? Don't just sign up because someone tells you need to do it. You've got to tie that to those first 2 questions. You've got to find out what you're looking to do, because your experience in the classroom is just as singular an event as it is for the students. It's just as a personal event happening for you between each of those students and in that classroom that it is for every kid in there. So remember, what are you getting? What do you got? And what do you have? So there it is. There's those 3. And then the last one, which is who's monitoring this? Who's monitoring to make sure that you're achieving those 3 things, that you are getting what you're supposed to get, that is what you need, and it's what you want, because those are the things that have to go together. Just like buying a car, What do you want? But then what do you need?
Right.
And what are you getting? And now not to say you can apply these 4 questions to everything, but yes, this kind of helps you break it all down. And I think one of the cool things you could do is take a piece of legal notebook paper and at the top make those 4 columns. What do I want?
Yeah.
What do I need? What am I getting? And who's monitoring it? Who's going to make sure that these things are really happening once I do get to this point? And write your topics out in the left-hand column and give them points. And start going down through it. It's a great way to just keep yourself on track and keep yourself on task, I think. Well, but monitoring is the big part to me, I believe.
Yeah, well, and that's going to apply really, throughout this entire conversation, this discussion, we've talked about whether this is something for you personally as the listener, whether this is something that is being handed down by the district and the district says, hey, this is how it's going to be, or whether it's something you're looking for from your learner. Ultimately, when you get to this 4th question, the monitoring. So who is monitoring what's happening with your learner in terms of what you want from them, what you need from them, what do you already have from them, what are you already getting from them? Those questions, who's monitoring those 3 pieces to go with what you're trying to get your learners to do. In a lot of cases, that's you as the educator. You're the one saying, hey, I'm the one monitoring what's happening with my learners. But sometimes it takes someone from the outside of your classroom to do that monitoring. Maybe there's someone that you work with that you trust. You can say, hey, look, this is what I've got going on. Would you mind looking over this and checking this out? Kind of like what you were talking about with buying the car, right? I have my list of what I need. I have the list of the cool things I want. I have to take a look at what I have, and then maybe I have another person that I kind of bounce that off of and go, hey, look, here's all this stuff, and here's what it comes out to in terms of what it's going to cost me. What do you think? I need you to help monitor. Is this really, am I on track, or are my wants really my wants? Are my needs really my needs?
Well,
that's the big one.
And really, you can be your own monitor. I mean, you really can.
You can.
And sometimes it just helps if you have a template or something to work off of to check that out. Even going car buying, or buying a new stereo, or buying clothes, or anything. It's not just about buying. It's also about what you're trying to learn. Keeping that little chart handy and dandy. And at the end of the show today, we'll give you a link where you can actually go out and pull up a quick template in a Google spreadsheet that you can actually use for this. So, but I think we've hit the top 4, don't you? I mean, I think we've hit exactly what we were talking about. So, go ahead.
So what we want to know from you guys, you can feel free to reach out to us. Reach out to contact@edutechguys.com or tweet us @edutechguys. Reach out to us on Facebook or head to edutechguys.com. Fill out the form on the first page. Where do you sit? What's something that you are looking at right now as you think about your summer? What are some of the things that are hitting you where these questions are fresh now on your mind? And or maybe there's something you're struggling with. Is there something maybe you want to bounce some ideas off of us? And you're like, hey, okay, I'm kind of looking at this particular app, and here are my wants, or what I think are my wants. Here are my needs, what I think I need. I'm not sure what I have, or maybe here is what I have. Bounce that off of us. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to give you a hand.
Yeah. Remember, what do you want? What do you need? What are you getting? And who's monitoring the whole thing?
Awesome.
Hope you enjoyed it. Hey, we'll be right back after these messages.
You're listening to EduTechGuys.com. Don't just listen to us. Bring us into your district today for cool, exciting professional development. We'll teach you and your students how to take podcasting to the next level and use it to reach your classroom and to reach the world. Reach out to us on Twitter @EduTechGuys or head over to EduTechGuys.com. Scroll down on the page and fill out the form, and we'll be in touch. Bring EduTechGuys to your school.
Hey, that's right. Remember, we'd love to come out to your place anywhere. Conference coverage, PD for your school, work with the kids, work with the teachers. We really like to interview folks and hear their story, because remember, if you can't tell your story, how are you going to tell theirs? Hey, you know what? It's time for a little music, and it's summertime, so we thought, what better than Nick Flora? Nick Flora with some summertime music. Hard Man to Love. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, yeah. Nick Flora, hard man to love, here on EduTechGuys Radio. By the way, if you know or are an independent music artist and you want to have your music featured on the show, reach out to us. We would love to feature you as the artist of the week. And speaking of that time of the week, it's
the Google tip of the week.
Woo, there we go. That's right. And this tip comes from Google, obviously. But this is a really cool new thing, and that is the Google Tour Creator. And you just go to vr.google.com/tour creator, and it allows students, teachers, really anybody who has a story they want to tell, to make a VR tour using images from Google Street View, or if you have your own 360-degree photos, you can use your own 360 photos. And it's so cool. The tool is designed to let you produce professional level VR content without the steep learning curve. The technology gets out of the way and enables students to focus on crafting fantastic visual stories. That's what Charlie Risinger says. He's a school technology director in Pennsylvania. And what's really cool is once you've created the tour, then you can publish it to Poly, which is Google's library of 3D content. And then from there, it's easy to view. So you definitely want to check that out. I think this would be a great way to get your students involved in creating VR experiences that they can turn around and share with other students. They could use them as knowledge demonstration.
That's cool.
Especially if you're studying a particular area of the world or whatever, and they're going to do a VR submission as their demonstration of content knowledge. Heck, you can share it with community members, parents, teachers, the whole 9 yards. I mean, anybody. I think it's very, very cool. So my guess is that before the summer is out, Jeff and I are going to create a couple of these. I think we can do one at ISTE. I think we'll probably do one for TCCA in Texas. There's a couple of things that we're going to do. We'll create some of our own virtual tours and share those out.
Awesome. That's a great one. Yeah, what a great time to do it during summer too. Get kids, doing that just to keep the old juices flowing during the summertime.
Yeah, especially if you can get them a 360 camera, which they're pretty inexpensive. Sure. You can get inexpensive ones anyway. Get them outside, walking around doing the VR thing. Oh yeah, heck yeah.
So the listeners want to find out a little bit more about it. Where's the best place to go?
Yeah. So again, you're going to go to vr.google.com/tour creator.
That's pretty happening.
We'll tweet that out too, so you can follow that along there as well.
Awesome. Hey, well, listen, we're glad to be back on the air. Please check in weekly because we have a lot of interviews signed up for over the summer, and it just rolls us right into the fall where we just get even heavier. We're launching up to some of the bigger conferences that we go to.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Dave and I have a lot more content coming this next year. We hope you enjoy it. And remember, as always, you can reach out to us at any time. Just go to the web, www.edutechguys.com. Drop down to the bottom of the page. You'll find the contact form there. Let us know what you think, or just go over to Twitter and hit us up. We're always there. I mean, always.
Always.
I actually pin my eyelids open at night so I can watch Twitter feed.
It's scary.
It's scary. Scares me. Hey, listen, it's been a great show. I'm Jeff Madlock.
I'm David Henderson.
We'll catch you next time.
You've been listening to EduTech Guys Radio, radio.edutechguys.com.
The opinions expressed on the site and its programs are those of participants and not intended to and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of any specific educational entity, sponsor, company, state, or government agency.